It will soon. You know, it's a little lag. There you
go. Oh, there we go.
You know, it's a little lag.
All right.
Well, hello, everyone, and happy Friday.
Yes. Oh, there we go.
Wait. You gotta turn it down on the side, babe.
All right, hold on.
Well, hello, everyone. There you are.
All right.
We were just checking, doing a little sound check because last time we were on, we didn't have sound for a minute. And so going live, you just have to make sure you have all of your technical things worked out and it's live. So, you know, with technology, it is what it is, but we have sound today and we're excited. We are so happy that you guys are here. I'm Wendy.
And I'm Dr. Tanya. And this is the Rainbow Letter.
Yay.
So on a Friday night, hopefully everybody's having a great Friday night, about to do something fun. We'll have a little discussion before you get on with your Friday night. So tonight's letter it's a good one and it's a long one.
It's very juicy.
So yes, it is very juicy.
It's very juicy.
And a lot of people I think are chiming in and already saying, no, not for me. So again, with the Rainbow Letter, it's a letter that someone sends into us and they are simply asking a question and asking for advice. So for those of you who have said, no, it's not for me, we want you to know it's not that we're encouraging you to add a third person to your bedroom. It is merely a conversation. It's a discussion. And for some people, they are definitely doing it as well as considering it. For others, as you know, several of you have said, it's not for you. So it really is just about a conversation. If it's something that you are thinking about, or maybe you've had experience with it and you can sort of let us know what your experience was like. Whether good, bad, or indifferent, we'd love for you to join in the conversation and kind of share as we help this sister try to get some advice as to what she wants to do in her situation.
And navigate that whole topic of conversation.
Yes. So you want to read the letter?
I'll let you read it today.
Oh, you want me to read it? All right. So the letter says, Dear Dr. Tanya and Wendy, my wife and I were discussing ways to spice up our sex life, and one of her fantasies is a threesome. She said that she often fantasizes about having another woman in bed with us. Mm-hmm. That's interesting already.
Right.
We have been talking about it and considering it, but I'm not too sure about going through with it. How do you know? So she asks a couple of questions throughout the letter. So her first question is, how do you go about finding someone who might want to participate in that? And that's a good question. Mm-hmm. I might ask the same question myself. The second, what she says after that is, I don't want to bring some random person into our bedroom, but I'm also not sure about it being someone that we know. Another thing that I'm concerned about is whether it might change the dynamic of our relationship. I'm worried that while the fantasy to her might be hot, the reality of seeing me enjoy someone else might cause her to be jealous, and that would lead to bigger problems later on. Or I might get jealous seeing her enjoy someone else. We have a great relationship and we are very open with each other, and I really don't want to ruin that. I've been open and completely honest with my wife about my concerns, but she keeps telling me to stop overthinking it. It's only one night and it's just for fun. I'm just looking for a little advice or for someone to share their personal experiences. If you've done it, how was it? And did it change things with you and your partner, or did it make your sex life even better? So that's the letter that we have tonight. Like I said, it's an interesting one. It's a controversial one. It's juicy. It's all those
things. Very juicy.
So it makes for a great rainbow letter. And there are several questions that she asked. So we're going to try to get through, all of what she wanted to know. So the first thing she says, basically the heart of her question is that they have been considering adding a third person to their bedroom to spice up, according to the letter, their sex life. So her first question is, how do you even go about finding a person?
You could have added on Craigslist
To do that, right? So at the end, she did ask for advice from people who have done this. So I'm going to give her advice from a psychological perspective as a psychologist, because I have not done it. So that's not something personally that I have done in any of my relationships. And I'll sort of share the reasons why I never did it in my relationships. And then I'm going to let Wendy over here tell you whether or not she has partaken in this area to spice up her life. So,
well, I actually have, and
Okay.
you know that.
Okay.
But I didn't do it in a relationship. I wasn't in a relationship, and it was people that I knew at one time. And I think we were all attracted to one another. This was in the 90s. So it was in the 90s. It was in the 90s. And we were drinking and had a pool party, and things got a little juicy.
Okay. So that's more on the orgy side?
Well,
versus
it wasn't an orgy. It was 3 people. Oh my God. It was 3 people.
Okay.
And so myself and 2 other people, I mean, everybody else had gone. We were all just chilling at the pool. And
Okay.
I don't know. I really can't remember how it took place. It was more on a dare type thing, I guess. I'm not sure. But it was so outside of a relationship. No one was in a relationship. So
which is different, I think. There's a whole different dynamic when you're in a relationship with somebody, and then you decide again to invite someone else into your bedroom.
And we're still all friends today. I mean, I think whatever happened at the pool stayed at the pool. No one ever discussed it
one
again.
Of those Vegas situations.
Yes, but we were in Atlanta. But no one ever discussed it again. It was just like it happened and it didn't happen.
So for this letter, because we definitely always want to be helpful to all of our Lesbian Couples Club followers. So for this letter, I had to do a little research myself to make sure that I was going to be able to provide some helpful advice. So one of the things that I did think about when I was sort of reading through the letter, and she was asking the question about where do you even find a person, and the question about her concerns about whether it should be someone that they know versus some random person.
Well, I'm sorry, babe, before you just even go there, I just want to go back just a little to where she says her partner says that, or her wife says that she often fantasizes about them, another woman, and when they're having sex. That's a little much for me.
Well, I don't know if she said she fantasizes. Okay, so
about having another woman in the bed with us.
What is that? She said that she often fantasizes about having another woman in bed with us. So it's not like she's fantasizing about someone else while she's sleeping with her, while she's having sex with her. She's just saying that she has a fantasy of having 3 people, a threesome.
All right.
So, I mean, and that's a whole different dynamic too. I think that's, that's a whole
what do you guys think?
level of things.
What do you guys think? Let us know. Drop us a comment down below and let us know if that would be feasible for you. Is that okay for your partner to be thinking about, another woman with you guys while,
or having someone else there?
Whenever. Even just thinking about it, whenever.
Look at it. But really? Well, a lot of people, it's a common thing though. So it's not like this isn't something that's common. It isn't like, and I really do hope we have several people who kind of chime in, because, polyamory is a common thing. There are a lot of people who you have lots of swinging communities that have developed and have been there, for years, of people who just enjoy, again, having additional people,
because sharing
their sexual experiences. And they don't take it. It's not one of those things where they become overly emotional about it. And even earlier today, there was someone who just commented in the stream that we used to advertise this, and she said that, for her, that it was fine, that it wasn't about anything personal. It was really just more about the sexual experience, and that was it. And that they often do that. So, if there are any polyamorous people who are listening, then I definitely would love to have you chime in as well, because like I said, it's more common than a lot of people would think. And we all have fantasies. We all have,
we do,
different sexual fantasies that we have. And so the one thing I think that's good about this couple is the fact that they're having an open dialogue, that it's not one of those things where, the one person is sort of thinking about it, but not really sharing it. That, she said a couple of times throughout the letter that they're very open with each other and that they're having this conversation. I think that's the best thing too, is that it's not, don't spring this kind of stuff on somebody or surprise somebody by bringing a third person, over, that kind of thing. It definitely has to be a well thought out kind of a thing. So I would say, to her about the concept of it being someone you know versus someone you don't know. From a professional standpoint, I would say and would give the advice that it's often in different clients that I've had, that I've coached, that have had these issues. And there are sometimes people who, decide to do this, and it does cause problems in their relationship.
Yeah.
It causes problems in their relationship because one or the other of the people gets too attached to that third person that gets brought in. And instead of it being a one-time thing, it becomes something that now the person wants, to be a more frequent type of a thing, which then causes people to be very emotional about it. And then to start to sort of doubt themselves, and to have jealousy issues and those kinds of things. So there are dangers, to this, as well as pleasures with it. So, the one advice that I would give, and that it seems to me from all the people I've spoken to in relationships, as well as, research that I've read about this, is that it seems to work out the best when it's someone that you don't know, because you sort of eliminate the personalness. It's less complicated when it's someone that you don't know, as opposed to someone that you do know. I know people and have counseled people who have brought in a friend, and it's really gone wrong when that person has been a friend, because there's still that personal connection there. Whereas, I know people who have done it with, quote, a random person, or someone that they've met some other place, and it was just a one-time thing. Everybody went their own way. And that personal side, the extra complication didn't come in because that person wasn't in their lives every day. So that's the one thing that I would advise her on, is that it's probably less complicated if you do it with someone you don't know as opposed to somebody you do know.
Well, see, and I know people, again, back in the 90s.
Mm-hmm. Back in the 90s.
No, but I know people who have, several people have done it both ways, and, with people that they know and with people they didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And when I first encountered it, it was a heterosexual couple, and the woman was bisexual, and she wanted someone to come in, for her and her husband, and he agreed, and it tore their relationship up.
Mm-hmm.
She had like so many other issues, self-esteem issues, and
which,
just a lot. She had a lot going on that she never dealt with, and so then she also like struggled with not being able to have children.
Okay.
And that really like got in the way, because their agreement at that time was to have conversation, and nobody could see the other person or people without the other spouse being around.
Okay.
And so what happened was they both started creeping.
Right. So both of them were trying to, on their own, see that third person.
Or third, like it
and
was
because this was someone
people
that they knew?
It was someone that they didn't know, but they got to know.
Oh, okay, and that could happen
because they
too.
spent time. They spent time trying to figure out if she was a good fit for them. So like it was like a whole.
So it truly wasn't random then.
Well,
if you spend enough time with a person trying to figure out if they're a good fit and that kind of thing, then that's really not random. That's more you're developing a relationship with that person.
Well, yeah, and that's what they wanted to do in order to see if that person was a good fit for them.
Okay.
And so the side chick, in Philly
person,
in Philly terms, that side joint, she ended up getting pregnant.
Oh wow.
By the husband, yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah,
so it wrecked their relationship, and it just really was. It was really a hard thing to watch. It was really very, very, very taxing on me as friends to both of them.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, it was just like, wow. And, you know, everybody was just like, okay. And so it really destroyed her mentally.
Okay.
So
makes
a huge difference.
Her other questions that she had is that she is concerned about it changing the dynamics of their relationship. So both of them apparently have never done this before.
Mm-hmm.
They, you know, are discussing it, have an interest in trying it. And so she's concerned about the outcome. Will it actually do what they think it's going to do, which is spice up their sex life? Or is it going to change the dynamic between them, because there'll be some jealousy that might creep in for either one of them. And this thing just might not turn out the way that they think it's going to turn out. That's always a possibility, because if you've never done it, you don't know how you're going to react to seeing your partner with someone else until it happens. So jealousy is definitely one of the things that happens, where one or the other, you know, of the partners gets jealous because someone feels like they're maybe not as active of a part of what's going on. You know, one of the things that I've heard some of my clients say is that, well, she seemed like she enjoyed it too much. And so again, you know, it's like, well, that's what it's about. So, you know, but again, feelings and emotions definitely come up when you decide to do these types of things. If you're not very sure about your relationship, very sure about why you're doing this, and, you know, and what you want to get out of this. That's the other thing that I would have her consider is, you know, what are the two of you trying to get out of this? Or if you're doing it just for the adventure, that's one thing. If you're doing it, and I've seen and known some people who have done this to try to solve a problem or issue with their relationship. Right. So, you know, if there's a lack of sex in your relationship and there's some issue behind that, then bringing that third person in is not going to solve that kind of problem.
Not at all.
And so that's one thing I want to caution the writer about, is that, you know, this type of thing doesn't solve those kinds of issues. If somebody's not satisfied sexually in a relationship, this is not going to solve that. You know, because if I have some dissatisfaction with Wendy sexually, bringing in a third person isn't going to help us solve what we have going on between us. That just adds an extra layer of complexity to an already, you know, broken kind of a relationship. So that would be the one thing. It seems like, the person who wrote the letter, it sounds like they have a strong relationship. So again, if it's just for the adventure, then you could definitely get a sense of adventure from it. And this quote spice that she mentioned, if it's solving a problem, you know, if you're trying to solve a problem with it, then again, I caution you, because it could really cause a lot of additional problems. And so for anybody that's thinking about trying it, that would be what I would say is, you know, really be clear about why you want to do this.
And not only to be clear, but, you know, I'm here, right where we are. It's a no judgment zone, so there's no heat, no judgment. However, you know, I would caution you to make sure your relationship is solid.
Yeah,
it's solid. Like you have no issues, no problems anywhere, and that you maintain an open line of communication all the time about everything, and, you know, total transparency. If you're looking just for spice and adventure.
Right. And then the only other thing I would say, I know she talked at the end about, she says her partner said, stop overthinking it. I don't think you can overthink this kind of thing. Mm-hmm. I don't think you can think enough about this kind of thing, and just really thinking through all of the ramifications of it, want from this, why you're trying to do it. And the last thing that I would say is Because again, I've known people where this kind of situation has gone wrong and it hasn't turned out the way they wanted it to turn out, to really sit down and talk to your partner and establish ground rules for it. And I know some, people like, oh, it's sex, what do you need rules for? You really do need rules for these kinds of things. And the question is it one of those anything goes type of situations where, once the three of you are together, is it whatever happens, happens? Or do you want to, think about it in advance and set some ground rules and think about the things that might make you jealous. Think about the things that might, sort of really cause you to feel some kind of way about when you're watching your partner and that other person, and set up, ground rules for it. What's off limits? Is there something that's off limits?
Or is everyone participating at one time?
Right. And just, I just think what's off limits. The third person could bring, additional things, toys, whatever. I mean, again, it could go any kind of way. So you just have to figure out what's off limits. And do you have limitations when it comes to this? And if you do, then you got to express what those limitations are. And the last thing I would say is having some sort of signal or safe word that when it's over, when you're done, if you decide this is not working out the way I wanted it to work, and I want to, call pineapples,
when you call pineapples, it's over.
But have a word pre-established or a signal pre-established so that your partner can quickly know, okay, I'm not liking this anymore. I'm not enjoying it. I'm feeling some kind of way about it, and I want this to be over. Mm-hmm. And so, that would be the last thing that I would say, in addition to the things that we've already said about just think it through. And like I said, I totally disagree with your partner about you overthinking it or thinking about it too much. I really don't think you can think about this enough when it comes to your relationship and just, what it could potentially do to the dynamics of your relationship.
Or even saying, I'm thinking about, what she says about is just one night and just for fun. Right. I mean, because I think that when you do something like this, then, people tend to want to talk about it. Well, how did you feel? Or what did you feel like when, this happened or that happened? And so, and at that point, I don't think it will be just for fun anymore, because then questions arise and, people.
Right. I mean, and some people do just want to do it one time and that's it. It's done.
Yeah.
But what happens if one of the people decides that they enjoy it and they want to do it again?
Right.
So again, you just have to kind of think through, all aspects of it. So any questions from anybody or any comments or anything from anyone about their experiences that they have had with it?
So we don't have any questions yet.
Okay.
But so while we're waiting for questions, if there will be any, and if not, if you don't feel comfortable leaving your question in the comment box below, you can always inbox us, or you can leave us a message at the lesbiancouplesclub.com. Mm-hmm. And so also what we do for the Rainbow Letter is we offer the couple who writes in and we choose their letter, we offer them a free coaching session, helping them to get through and work through the things that they, have that they want some help with. And so for this couple, they actually accepted the session. And so they will be, meeting with us soon.
Right.
So
just to kind of work through and again, to plan through, just all aspects of adding this into their relationship. So, and I think it's a good idea to do that, regardless of what they decide to do as far as, taking the leap and adding this as an adventure to their relationship.
And so for you guys who are watching just for tonight, we have a special coaching offer. It's a button down below, and it's $99 for 3 30-minute sessions, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yes, for a package of 3 sessions.
And so if you have this issue or any other issues that you want to talk through and work through, you can always just click that button and follow the prompts and you'll get set up. For that. And so someone says, she says, if I'm in love with the woman I'm with, she would be all in. She would be all I need. So Wendy said that. And Wendy, I actually agree with you. I believe that. I'm not a sharer. I don't share well. I have two other sisters growing up, and they're younger than I am, and so I had to share everything all the time. So as an adult, I don't share well. I don't play well with others. So yeah, and so
And I will say for me, I agree with the person who just wrote the comment as well. That, again, this person asked about spicing things up. And I think there are a number of ways that you can spice up your relationship, that you can spice up your sex life without having to include a third person. Role playing is excellent for that. If you want to be someone else,
honey,
personally,
put on the wig,
right, then you can be someone else.
Meet at a bar.
And exactly, and role play. And it's like two totally different people who are connecting with each other. And Wendy and I have done those
and play
things.
It all the way out.
It's been, a lot of fun with the role playing piece.
Right.
So that's definitely one aspect, or kind of one way where you can spice up your sex life without having to include a third person. If this, type of thing is definitely not for you. Any other comments?
So Lita says she agrees with Wendy, and then Wendy says, "Hi, my safe word is pineapple." That movie is my safe word.
Yes,
is pineapple
I think a lot of people got pineapples as their safe word after that movie. But yeah, I mean, safe words are good. We should all have them so that we know, that's your word and that's your cue. And definitely for this type of thing, you need to have a safe word. You need to have some kind of signal, something.
And there really are so many other things that you can do if you are wanting to spice up things. Like Dr. Tanya said, role playing is great, but then you can actually, add toys,
right.
And it's just so many other
just
things.
Change the where, the when,
right?
The how,
go to a hotel,
all of those things.
In a car,
right?
go back to where you
things you did when you were dating.
Yes,
that's the thing I'll say. We're all really sort of hot and heavy when we're dating, doing things
absolutely
totally out of our norm and out of our comfort zone. But then after we've been together for a few years, we tend to get settled and we tend to get comfortable. And this does come up a lot where couples are like, either we're so busy and we're not having sex with each other. Life just happens. Time just went by and we didn't realize that we weren't having that much sex. So really the easiest way to add that spice is to think back to the things you did when you were dating. And if you go back to just reliving and doing some of those kinds of things, then it really does help to sort of reinvigorate and spice up your relationship as a whole, but also the sexual part of your relationship.
And also changing your scenery. Changing your scenery will make a world of difference. Getting a hotel room, pampering each other, just doing something out of your norm. Sometimes your bedroom, gets to be a little mundane. And
getting out of the routine.
Yeah. Maybe do it in the kitchen or something.
Naked chef. Maybe you again, you can play all kinds of things.
And I think
it's unlimited.
Right. And this is just about what you can imagine.
Just be careful cooking on the stove with no clothes on, people. You can do it.
You don't want to cook bacon.
Well, you don't want to don't fry anything. But okay, we digress.
So so for these sisters here, we're really appreciative for the letter. And
yes, it was a great letter. Caused some really great conversation, gave us all something to think about. And we thank all of the people who chimed in and sort of gave their views and their opinions, both for it. Some people were for it and some people were against it. And like I said, it is a common thing. A lot of people do indulge in, swinging, threesomes, polyamory, whatever.
And it's cool if that's what you're into, and if not,
absolutely.
It's
if
cool
it's for
as well.
you, it's for you. And if it's not, then you definitely know.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And so the other thing we wanted to talk about real briefly before we get out of here, so you guys can go party on Friday night.
Spend some time together.
Yes. And so we here in Baltimore have been doing for the last 2 years a couple support circle, and it's been local, and we've heard so many things from other couples around the globe asking, could we bring it there, and why don't they have anything, like we do here, there. So what we decided to do was to move the couple support circle online so people can join all over the world. And so we're very excited about that. We will be rolling that out in March. And there will be links. So just stay tuned. I'll actually create an event for it. I'll post it within the Lesbian Couples Club page or in our group if you're in either of them.
Right. And if you enjoy this type of a format, just know that, you will be there live with us.
Right.
So all of the couples will be able to see and talk to and interact with each other. So you won't have to type in comments and those kinds of things. Will actually be, that's why we're keeping it small. So all of the couples will be right there with each other via computer, and we can all see and talk to each other and be supportive. And the thing for it is to do it for about a 6-month period. So about 6 different times that we will meet together as a group to get to know each other and to work on our relationships. So it's a little bit different from what we're doing in this format with the Rainbow Letter, whereas it's a private format. The only people that will be involved in it are, I think we're going to open it up to just 8 couples?
Yes.
A maximum of 8 couples. So you will really, just as we did when we did it in person, you will really get a chance to get to know and build a relationship and a connection with those other 8 couples as we all kind of work with each other and support each other in strengthening our relationships. So we'll have specific topics every month that we will cover. We will talk to you guys to see what topics you want to cover. So it's a great format to be able to, be educated, to be able to support other couples, to get support from people, and just to build a small community together of couples who are working on their relationship. So you don't necessarily have to have an issue or a problem with your relationship. The Lesbian Couples Support Circle is, again, all about education and support. So you don't necessarily have to have a troubled or a broken relationship. There are lots of people who attended our support circles that have very strong relationships. And so they are there to continue to strengthen their relationships by being a part of that type of a community. So
right.
We're excited about doing it online and being able to reach more people. So we'll do it once with that 8 people. But if there's an overwhelming amount of people, then we will just create another circle. So we'll do it multiple times so that everybody can get in. So definitely once we send out the information and you want to be a part of it, then send your information in, let us know, and we'll definitely get you connected and be a part of it.
Okay, and so we have some more conversation going on.
Okay.
So Wendy says, I do like to role play, but it's not easy to find someone who likes it too. She says, don't get me wrong, I would be happy to have 2 beautiful women with me as long as I am not in a relationship with one of them.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And that is true for people who are, single. Then it's definitely, because the dynamics are a little different,
a lot,
just like Wendy said, and you can sort of indulge in that kind of thing, but not have all of the emotion and the attachment that comes with being in a relationship. That complicates things. So yes, it's a lot less complicated when you're single and all 3 people are single.
Yeah, because you don't have anybody else to consider but yourself.
Right. So
and the people that you are and want to be involved with.
Right.
That's it.
Right,
so that's definitely a cool point.
Yep.
So, well,
All right. Well, that rainbow letter was a great topic. I enjoyed discussing it and providing the advice to the couple. We wish them well in whatever decision that they make.
Yeah.
And we're excited that you guys came to join us for this rainbow letter.
And if you guys have a letter,
yes, so keep sending in the letters, keep sending in the topics so we can sift through them and bring you, the best of the best.
And we will do the rainbow letter the first and the third Friday of every month.
Mm-hmm.
So I will create an event for it every month. So we ask that you please share it with your friends,
right,
and people in your networks, just so they can get help if you found any value to what we provided for you here tonight.
Absolutely. We are here to serve you.
And so with that, we appreciate you letting us pour into you. And we thank you, and we are going to jump off and start our
awesome
Friday night.
Yes, everybody have a great Friday night. Spend some time loving on your partner.
And have a great weekend on purpose.
All right.
All right, guys.
Until next time.
Later.